Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GameKheyl. I'm Naveed, and today we have ourselves a roster for the first time. I mean, we've had individuals, we've had people, but this time we have a team. And surprise, surprise, I mean, this should not be a surprise to anyone. Salt Esports have been super kind to us. And guess what? This time around, we've gotten their roster for Rocket League. I mean, we have individuals coming in from different sports, but Rocket League is somewhat of an unknown entity. But you know what? I played this game today for the first time and it just blew my mind. And these individuals sitting in front of us are the best in the country. So it's an absolute pleasure to have this entire roster here with us. And before we start this interview, just a few quick updates. I think I've announced this quite a few times. We've gotten our setup a bit of an upgrade. So this setup looks nice. We will be doing more interviews. And like a few days ago, we did a tournament for the UFC 4. We're going to be doing more tournaments, more collaborations. There, sky is the limit. So I just expect a lot of support from all of you watching this. And again, best wishes to everyone who has been associated with GameKheyl. We are very thankful for that. Speaking of history, background, and things that have happened, I mean, the team that is in front of us, Salt Esports, a Rocket League team. So I would just like to start off with, how did you guys come together? How did this roster form? Because from what I can gather, you're from different parts of the country, some even outside the country. How have you guys gotten together and made a team?
Well, first of all, our captain, Salt Anas, was actually one of the first people who made the team, made this all happen. He was suggested by Hydra to start a roster because, as far as we knew, there was no competitive grounds locally in Pakistan to play Rocket League as of like 2 years ago. So me and Anas, we both started off the roster, and it was pretty strong at the start, and it's going strong right now as well. So Hydra suggested that we go like create our own team as we move along, because at the start was just the two of us. And as we went along, we signed a guy. He was around GC1 at the time. His name was Salt Boomer. His gamer tag was Salt Boomer. And since we got three players on the team, we started grinding more of a threes. We became more of a threes team, a 3v3 team, and participated in some local tournaments and stuff. And unfortunately, along the way, Salt Boomer had some responsibilities to take care of. So he had to resign from the team. So shortly after that, we came across a pretty well-known, a pretty good underrated player, Salt Priminus Zakaria, who's in this meeting right now as we speak. And after that, we played with Salt Zakaria for quite some time. And we signed another player, Salt Deadshot. And these two players were by far the most underrated players in the country at the time. Like, in my personal opinion, they performed really well. And because of them, we have been able to participate locally and internationally in quite a few tournaments. And since then, we have altered the team here and there. But overall, we've been going pretty strong. And recently, we signed Salt Arrow as well, Soman, who's also in this roster as we speak right now. And if I do say so myself, we are going pretty strong as the #1 team in Pakistan right now. So that's basically the history you need to know for Salt Esports for the Rocket League roster.
Like you mentioned, there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to an esports team. And I mean, again, managing the logistics of people from all over the world. Again, you guys also different ages, so the responsibilities, things you have to do in the background besides gaming, a lot of things come together. However, the question would be this: what is it like to be part of a team? What is it like to be in a group of people from different backgrounds? Again, it must be difficult to connect with one another in person, but what is it like? How's the experience like?
To be in a team like this, it's quite exciting, honestly. Uh, we honestly when we practice sessions, we have get to know each other over the past few months as we've played with each other. So it's the environment has turned really friendly. So like most of our like practice sessions that basically turn into like therapy sessions more likely. So like it's quite exciting, and it's quite good to have like friends and good people around you, and being in a team is all about growing and learning together. So I'm really like blessed to have really good teammates, and it's quite a fun experience to learn together. Yeah.
That is very good to know, because in Pakistan, again, in fact, this was a conversation that I was having with Ali previously, and that is, the scene in Pakistan is a bit turbulent, for lack of a better term. I mean, there have been a few instances where the org itself has had issues with the talent having issues with the org. So it's kind of a breath of a fresh air to hear so many positive things about a group of people coming together, even though there are a lot of logistics involved. So that is, again, very refreshing to hear. What, however, may not be refreshing to some of you would be to hear the fact that Rocket League is probably not a very big esports in Pakistan. And to put that bluntly, so to say, is that your squad is probably the only Pakistani squad in the scene.
Yeah.
So that puts you in a very weird position, because it's often said that you are as good as your local scene, but you are the local scene. So
Yeah.
how does that come together? I mean, what do you think the scope is for Rocket League in Pakistan? Are there other players in the scene as well? What do you think the scene is, and what will it take for the scene to grow?
So basically, the game itself had been very popular in recent years, but because there wasn't like the esports scene was still limited to specific regions, say North America and Europe and Oceania. Like along the way, they added more regions like South America, and as of recent, Rocket League has gone global. Due to it going global, a lot of opportunities have like popped up in terms of talent coming up. Like our region especially, we have so many players in our community that are waiting for the chance basically to compete at the highest level. Along with these individuals with me, they have been supportive so much of me since I've joined Salt Esports. So yeah, also my younger brother, who was also a very keen player of the game. He's 11-year-olds, mashallah, and he's basically hanging out with these guys as well.
He's a prodigy and a half, I mean.
Yeah, he's a prodigy and a half. So the esports side has really taken a while to grow in Pakistan. Obviously because of because Psyonix took a while, the developers of Rocket League, to make Rocket League a global esport, but it finally has happened, and hopefully we see a lot of new faces, new talents, new play styles emerge in the game, and yeah, hopefully we represent Pakistan at the world stage at some point.
Inshallah.
I mean, coming to grips with the game itself and interacting with all of you, I mean, the kind of dedication that is coming across, to at least here for us here at GameKheyl, it's very commendable. And again, best wishes to all of you, or in fact anyone who represents Pakistan at the highest level. So all we wish for you is to have greater ability to showcase what you are capable of. And it's very good to hear so many articulate young men talking about esports so passionately. So that is a very refreshing sight. Also, there's one question that I mean, for a lot of viewers who would be watching this interview, maybe they're hearing about the game for the first time, or maybe if they've heard the game, or maybe someone with a different experience, like they've played the game and then realized how stupid difficult this game is. So some of them just quit right away. So if there is something from a third person standpoint, again, जैसे कि बहुत सारे लोगों को ये लगता है कि यार ये गेम बहुत मुश्किल है and it's very difficult to master it. So why do you think a layman should try their hands on this game? What does this game bring to the table that the other games may not? So if I were to tell you कि आपने किसी को convince करना है to start playing Rocket League, what's your pitch?
Arrow, you go ahead with this.
I would probably say that this game, it is quite difficult when you first start out, not gonna lie. When I first started this game, I did not play like anything except training for like the first few weeks, because I had seen like a couple of YouTube videos about it, and I saw how like as you said, stupid difficult this game was. So I didn't want to like actually go into a match and then get absolutely wrecked. And so I basically trained for the first few weeks, and then when I actually went into the game, I was half decent, I'd say. I did practice a lot with bots as well, but the main thing in this game is obviously you have to put a lot of time into this game. It requires a huge amount of time to actually compete with the scene, which is right now, because the actual like concept of this game is quite unique. So you actually need a team to succeed at the highest level, I may add. But yeah, other than that, it just requires a lot of time, and to succeed at the like highest level, you probably need a huge what do I call it, a huge motivation from your roster, and a good roster in general, because it is a team game after all. And if you don't have that relationship with your teammates, then it's quite hard to succeed at the top level.
So I think your pitch for this game is if you want to get involved in this game, better have a team or better have a few individuals you can play this game with. So
Yeah,
I
well,
guess that would be
Yes.
the pitch.
yeah, Naveed, by well, I would like to add something to this. You're right about one thing. The game's difficulty is stupefying. It is one of the most difficult games if you're starting to get into it. And I myself have been a solo and multiplayer gamer for quite a long time, including like titles like Dark Souls and Call of Duty and stuff. And those games are hard. I'm sure you've probably played them. So if you're asking me why viewers should play, if someone asks me why they should play Rocket League, I would basically tell them one thing. When you play Call of Duty, when you play any kind of first person shooter game, it's about the general skill you have when it comes to FPS games, or it's about the general skill you have when it comes to role playing games. And if you're good at, let's say, decent at CSGO, you'll be good at Valorant, you'll be good at Call of Duty. The scope is pretty big.
Hmm.
But when it comes to Rocket League, there is not a single like game out there who I can say is more unique and more skill based than Rocket League. If you don't put in the hours you need to put in order to get better, you will not excel and go anywhere with this. Because I personally know people who have given up within the first 2 days of playing the game just because it's too hard. But you should try. For other viewers out there, you should definitely try to get your hours in. And trust me when I say this, you will get better. You will excel at it if you have the determination for it.
I think basic way to put this is कि ये game dheet और determined लोगों के लिए है. Because
बिल्कुल.
if you're someone who likes to persist, who likes to grind it out, I mean, this game is definitely for you. Again, there's a lot of people who like to play games casually, but at the same time, there are a lot of individuals out there who want to be good at something. And again, this is the kind of game, if you put in the hours, if you put in the effort, you can definitely get better at it. So very nicely put by Arrow and Salt Canyon. So just a couple more questions. First one is, again, in your journeys, respectively, all of you are now representing Pakistan at the highest level. So there must be individuals, there must be people that have helped you in your journey. Maybe someone that you think deserves recognition at here at GameKheyl as well. So if you have any shout outs, if you have any individuals that you think deserve the limelight, now would be the time, and I would want all of you to name at least a few people that you think deserve a shout out. So Ali, will start off with you.
Okay, I have to go first, I guess. First of all, I'd shout out Hydra, obviously, because he posted the Twitter post that they were looking for a Rocket League manager. I honestly didn't think I would like make it through, because when it comes to representing an org, I know many people would love the opportunity, but I DM'd him anyways. I was like, yo, I would love to work with the roster. So shout out to him, Hydra, for the opportunity. And I would also shout out Bendy. He's esports manager in Salt, now at Sites, and it's a Middle East organization type of. He's helped me in like how to be a better manager for the game and in general, like managing the roster, arranging scrims, dealing with personalities, etc. So yeah, those two people, and obviously shout out to my roster. These are one of the best individuals I've come across, and I cannot wait to work with them in the future.
Awesome.
Also, Naveed, in terms of recognition, you said, I think there's a lot of talent in Pakistan that could sort of flies under the radar. So in terms of Rocket League, I think there's this man in the server. He's an absolute beast of a player. His name's Raid. He's one of the best, if not the best freestyler in the region right now, and he is stupid cracked at the game. So I definitely think he should, at least
Yes,
deserve a little bit of the limelight. And
definitely.
following that, I think Wildfire, Aman, his name is Aman. He's also one of the highest rated players in Pakistan. Probably he was, I think, the first GC, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
in
probably.
Pakistan. And he's still he's stupid competitive, and he's also an absolute madman on the pitch. So he also deserves a huge shout out, in my opinion.
All right. Priminus.
Talking about Riot, I would like to shout out to Riot and Salt Boomer, who was a former Salt player, because basically these were the two guys who introduced me to Salt and to the Rocket League Pakistan scene, as I didn't know about it. So yeah, I would like to shout out to them, and a shout out to the team, to the boys, the roster. They have been very supportive of me. In times it has been hard for me to find motivation to play the game, but they've kept my motivations up, and it's all the way up from here.
All right. And you, Sol. Canyon.
Yeah, well, personally, I feel like the number one shout out should, in my personal opinion, should go to our captain, of course, Salt Anas.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, he couldn't be with us today, but he is kind of the main reason I started Rocket League in the first place. He introduced me to the game, and he is way too crack at the game as well. He is consistent, he is getting better and better, and he has contributed to the community of Rocket League in Pakistan for quite a bit. We have a dedicated Discord server, and he manages all of it. He keeps everyone happy there. He holds tournaments. He hosts a lot of things for the community of Rocket League in Pakistan. So shout out to him. And the second shout out, in my opinion, should go to the people who supported me. And I probably shouldn't say this on recording, but my family, my brothers especially, they were really supportive of me joining Rocket League, an organization to represent as well. And my girlfriend, of course, she was at times when I would feel really demotivated, and I would just think about just leaving Salt and going solo, and just when I didn't have any motivation to continue at all. My brothers and my girlfriend, both of them, have been such a huge help. I cannot stress this enough. They have helped me along my journey, and they still are supportive of me as of this moment right now. So these are the three people I would like to shout out to.
Oh, and well, I think the best shout outs are the one that come straight from the heart. And I think all of you have done justice to everyone that deserves recognition. So great job there. All right, so we are going to try something different now. This is something that we have not done before, and this is what we call rapid fire. So I'm just going to ask and put the talent that is Arrow, Salt Canyon, and Priminus on pedestal and ask them a few questions. In fact, just one question there. And within 10 seconds, I want you to answer the first thing that comes in your mind. And the question, starting off with you, Arrow, Salt, and then Priminus, the question is, why should someone play Rocket League?
Rocket League is a very unique game, I think, and it's basically it requires you to build a whole new set of muscle memory, and I don't think there's any game out there that is as appealing to me as Rocket League. So just give it a try.
Awesome. Salt.
Yeah. Well, personally, I would recommend them to play Rocket League because there are certain communities and a lot of people out there who are extremely toxic. And if Rocket League teaches you one thing, it's to be patient. It's to be wholesome and patient along the way. No game can teach you that patience as much as Rocket League can. So if not for the skill of the game, just
big wouch.
Yeah, just play it to get a lesson in life.
I like the way you see things. All right, Privilege.
All right, so yeah, play a lot of first-person shooters back in the day. So the concept is quite unique of the game, Rocket League. So it really attracted me and my friends. And when you're starting the game, it's just so fun. You just go for the ball and you just cannot hit it. As you mentioned, it's mad difficult. So it's our parties were just full of chaos, and it's just shouting here and there, and it's quite fun. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Ali, I have a question for you. And considering the fact that you have very passionate young men that you're managing right now,
Yes,
including your captain who's not here, unfortunately not here today,
yeah, unfortunately.
how is it like to manage a young esports team? I mean, right now you're in uncharted territory. There's no other team operating at the level that you are, especially in Pakistan. So
Yeah.
how is it like? What are the challenges and what do you enjoy?
So firstly, the challenges, definitely being the only one to represent Pakistan, obviously that puts a lot of pressure on you because you're literally the only one playing Rocket League from our region. Secondly, I wouldn't be so sure if you'd ask like 2-year-old me that I'd be in a Rocket League team managing these guys, because I only came to know about Rocket League like 2 years ago, and I didn't have a PC back then. So to be in this position, to be managing this team, it's definitely a very wonderful experience. Obviously, secondly, my motivation to do it even further is my younger brother. He's sitting in the back, he's watching me, and he's also aiming to compete in the RLCS, basically the Rocket League World Championship at some point. Obviously, you need to be 15 years old to, like, you need to be that age to be eligible to participate in the RLCS. So he's waiting for his chance. Until then, I'll help all the talent in Pakistan, all the all right, like everyone who wants to compete at the highest stage. I'll help them no matter what, because I have tweeted about this. I'll do whatever it takes to help Rocket League progress in Pakistan. That's it.
Well, if you could
And
spend about
also,
half an hour. Sorry, yeah, Arrow.
I just wanted to say that that little man right there sitting behind Ali, he's coming for our spots basically. So
Yeah.
anyone in like 4 years time who's in the pro scene, you just watch out for your spot.
Oh, I think he's going to be super OP by the time he reaches the professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I
We
believe
can
if
definitely
he's
vouch
getting
for
the
him.
right advice, and Ali, like you mentioned, the kind of advice that he's getting and the kind of mentorship that he's getting, I think future
Yeah.
looks pretty good for him. And all of you, in fact, it's very good to see a team that has come together so well.
Hmm.
However, there must be moments, especially for the three of you who are competing in these events.
Hmm.
What's most difficult part about being in a team? Arrow, we'll start off with you.
The most difficult part, I think, is building that sort of relationship, that trust between your teammates. When you're in the heat of the moment and all the pressure is on you, you should rely on your teammates to have your back and stuff. So basically, the most difficult part, in my opinion, that I've also had some trouble with in the past few weeks is getting to know my teammates well and trusting them basically and having them trust me. So yeah, that's about it.
All right, Canyon.
Well, I should agree with Arrow right there. He is absolutely right about the teammates part. And I believe the most difficult part about being in this team specifically is adapting to the chemistry, because all of us, don't have a single mindset or play just a single skill that we use. We are a diverse team. Like Salt Arrow would be definitely be really good at mechanical plays, and Criminus would be really OP in the air. I would be somewhat decent on the ground. We would make a banger team. But like I said, it's just about the more diverse your team is, the harder it is to get the chemistry straight. So that's about the hardest thing for me.
All right, Priminus.
Yeah, I would like to add that trust. The trust is important within the game. But if you talk about outside the game, mentally, you really have to be linked up with your teammates in order to put on a show and play really good. Because if you're not mentally at the same spot with your teammates, things won't go your way. And also, apart from the team being something really hard to play in a team, uh, uh, hardship, personal life. So sometimes you do not show up on practice camps and or any tournaments that you miss because of that. So that just really slows you down. Apart from that, it's quite fun to play with it.
Obviously, I mean, with great powers come great responsibility. When you're trying to represent your team while balancing your life, it can be troublesome, it can be bothersome, but at the same time, if the negatives are outweighed by the good that comes together from being a part of a collective, there's nothing better than that. I've been involved in esports myself with UFC 4, and I can honestly say the camp culture, the team culture is something that elevates your game when you're putting in the grind day in day out with people that you enjoy hanging out with. So I just got one final question for all of you, and that is pertinent to your goals, because you all look pretty ambitious in your own targets. So one question, in fact, I'll throw two questions forward. First one is your goals and targets as a person, and secondly, your goals and targets as a team. What do you see this team doing in terms of achievements, and again, yourselves? So Ali, we'll start off with you and we'll proceed in the same order.
Yeah. So I'll mostly talk about like our aspirations as a team. So firstly, since Pakistan is now eligible to participate in the RLCS, but obviously to qualify for the World Championship, you have to first do well in your own region. So Pakistan is currently in the Middle East and North Africa region for RLCS. So firstly, we have to focus on our region, do better here, place well, and then hopefully, inshallah, we qualify for the world stages and represent Pakistan at the world stage. Yep. Arrow?
For me, basically, my main goal right now is to, be that man that my team needs. Obviously, there's Rocket League is a team-based game, so you can't do everything yourself, and your team can't succeed without you. So, for me, my main aim is to just be there for my team and have my team's back whenever whenever they need me to have their backs.
Awesome. Canyon?
Well, my personal goals and aspirations include, this might be a bit far-fetched, but my personal goals include being the top player in Pakistan before moving on to being the top player in Middle East in terms of solo skill. I know that team play and teamwork is essential to growing in Rocket League, but there are some things that you need to improve on your own in Rocket League, and I just coincide inside those aspirations. I just have a beeline vision of reaching the top rank in Rocket League within the next few months, inshallah. Once my other responsibilities, my exams are done and dusted with, my goal is to become a supersonic legend and hopefully get into the stage where I can compete internationally and just have a reputation that I can back up for my team and me as a player as well.
All right. 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, me as a player, I always try to be more of a positive soul to get the vibes going. Well, and also as a person, like I want to learn more from my own mistakes, learn side by side with my teammates, and just grow in general. So talking about the team and the goals, obviously I would like to see us on the big stage. I mean, honestly, that's basically the goal, and we're just gonna learn day by day, and inshallah be there soon.
Inshallah.
Again, I think the different perspectives, the vibe that I'm receiving from all of you is just very infectious. There is nothing but best wishes for all of you representing Pakistan at the biggest stage. We would honestly hope that there are more teams coming into the scene, because
Yeah, I would like to add another thing.
Yeah,
As you said, like
Yeah.
adding more teams. The thing is, currently esports is at a very tricky situation in Pakistan. It's still very young and it's still growing.
Yeah.
So what I'd suggest for anyone who wants to compete in the RLCS right now, since Pakistan is eligible, is just to grab two, like a team, like 3 people, like see if you have the chemistry and just register for the Rocket League Championship by the region. In Middle East, just register for the event, play the open qualifiers, see how you do. It'll be the best experience you could have to the highest level of Rocket League that you'll be playing. And inshallah, when you have the results, when you like do well in the region, qualify for the main event. Everyone will see here in Pakistan that this team ABC, has the potential that we should sign them, and that is going to be the main thing. I'd say that players who want to compete at the highest level just make a team and just go for it.
Yeah, you know what they say, you miss every shot you don't take, so you might as
Yeah.
well take a shot.
Oh, you miss
True,
100% of the shots that you don't take. Yeah, this is something that I use in my trainings more often than not. So that works out well. So I mean, that goes to show the ambition that Ali Kate has for the Pakistani scene, and in fact, the whole team and the scene that we see for esports in Pakistan. And GameKheyl is that one platform that originated out of this idea, because what we want is the best talent to be represented at the highest level for the world to see. So I really hope this interview reaches out to the right people. You guys deserve a lot of recognition, and I hope it goes through to the right people. So it was again an absolute pleasure to have all of you here. Any final thoughts, if you guys have any?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting. Yeah, it's really tricky, as I mentioned before, that being the only team in the region, you have a lot of responsibility. You have to be very cautious about everything in general. But yeah, these guys are going to be hard at work to represent Pakistan at the highest stage. Inshallah, that day comes soon, because that'll literally make my day. And to see my brother one day, inshallah, with these guys, it'll mean the world to me.
Anyone else, if you have anything to say?
Well,
you
uh,
go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah,
I
Arrow,
mean,
go
so-
ahead.
It was Primus, I think.
Oh, okay, Primus, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Primus, go ahead.
All right, Salt Canyon will start off with you.
Well, I just wanted to once again shout out to all the people who've been supportive of this, who've been supportive of me excelling at Rocket League, because to be honest, it just wouldn't have been possible without them. So just as an ending note, I just wanted to end this on the note of just giving them a shout out in this interview, and hope